guys, today I'm doing a video on a makeover that I did in my previous house on a kitchen. It was my first project in DIY since becoming a single parent. With the house being rented, I didn't want to spend too much money on this. I wanted to create a space that I was happy to call my own. I wanted to do something in the house that I wasn't allowed to do previously. I wanted to update this kitchen and make it my own. Even though I was in rented accommodation, there is no need to just live in a house that doesn't suit you. If you want to make a change to things, you can. DIY is not as scary as it looks. There was a lot of new learning curve for me. There was a lot of blood, sweat and tears at some points. But you need to also realise that this process of the kitchen took me probably 3 to 4 months to complete. I can only do a bit at a time, and I was learning new skills as well, so that took me a bit longer to do. But at least I gave it a try, and I hope you enjoy seeing the process of what it looked like before and what it looks like after. I was really pleased with it. Unfortunately, I weren't able to get as much footage of the actual process of the DIY because at the time I just started filming. I didn't really know what to film. I didn't even have a tripod at the time, so I wasn't able to film myself doing a lot of the things because I needed 2 hands to do it. But hopefully the information that I put in about what products I used, how I used them, and also the images and videos that I will put on later on in the video will show you what you're able to do if you just make a start. It's all about making a start. I didn't know how to design it or what to do, but I think once you've made a start on something, you decide things as you go along, what would look right with that thing. So if you've got a basic colour scheme in mind or a basic design in mind, just get going on it and you'll see things evolving, and as you're learning new things, you're able to put them new skills into the next part of the same project. If you're working on the cupboard doors, for example, you know what colour you want, and then you can then see, well, that doesn't look right with this, or this worktop doesn't look right with that, or that colour doesn't go with that colour, and you can change it as you go along. You don't have to have a solid idea of what you're actually doing, you just need to have an idea of what you would like the space to look like eventually. Again, the filming isn't brilliant, it is one of the first things that I was filming. If you make a start on something, you've got a better chance of getting to the end of it. If you don't make the start, you won't go anywhere. You have to make that initial decision to say, yeah, I'm going to start on whatever day it is, I'm going to do this. And get a plan in your head about what you want out of the project. I was totally in love with the kitchen at the end. I was quite upset that not long after this I actually started this one and then moved on to the dining room, and halfway through me completing the dining room, the landlord decided to sell the house. So I was quite upset that I'd put so much time and effort and made it look really nice just to be told that the house is getting sold now and we need to find somewhere else to live. I thought it'd be a good idea to show what's possible if you just put your mind to it and make that start. Okay, let's continue. So this was the kitchen, the way we had it before I made a start on the DIY project. I really didn't like it. It looked old, it looked tired. It was just bland, there was just nothing nice to it. It didn't look modern. I wanted a new modern look on it. There was a lot of problems from the previous tenants where they'd used these handles on the drawers as ladders and therefore ripped the front panels off, and this was the landlord's contractors who put this brilliant panelling on, which was unsightly and wasn't very professional in my opinion. All the cupboard doors are tired, they're worn out, they just look grubby. At this stage I'd already took off all the handles, started to give them a good clean ready for painting those. The dust and muck on the worktop is from taking the handles out. Cupboard doors was uneven, they needed tightening up to make it look nice and seamless. Little dents and divots here and there. But you can just see from the bottom how warped and scratched. They're just old and tired. Scratches all over the place. Even the laminate is coming away from the actual, I think it's a chipboard, I'm not sure. But the laminate coating's coming away from the edges because it's had moisture or some kind of water getting to them. So I just wanted to give it a fresh look. I weren't interested in buying new doors for it all, as it wasn't my house. I just wanted to live in a house that I'm happy to live in. So even though it wasn't a cheap makeover, you know, I had a budget in mind at where I didn't want to spend a stupid amount of money and wanted to do everything just to make it look nice but also usable. So first thing I wanted to go was them tiles. So I had to come up with some ideas for that. This worktop has been heat damaged and scratched and stuff over the years with other tenants in this property before us. You can see all the faded marks and scratches in all, pretty much all areas. There's a part where it was warped as well, where they must have put a hot pan on there or something. It just generally looks old and tired. I was looking into the option of repolishing the worktops, but decided against it because there was just too much damage, as you can see, especially on these bits here. Other than that, the worktop was in good condition. It was just the surface and the actual cosmetic side of things. So at this point I started taking the doors off, giving them a really good scrub and get them all cleaned up, and then I started clearing the plinth and started to give that a good clean and give it a cover of paint. So all the doors are off. I've started painting on the walls. A bit better. Cupboards up top have started up better than the bottom plinths a bit. One coat on the plinths at the bottom looks a bit patchy in a minute. Got another couple of coats before they're done. Cupboards are on the way to being sorted. Drawer's an absolute mess. I had to buy new wood for it. One thing I do like is this. Actually sparkles. If you can see it on there. So I've got the durable coat to go on top of that. And then we're moving on to finishing the cupboards off. Not decided if I'm doing anything about the worktop yet. Not sure what colours or anything, I don't know. I've figured it out yet. I'm going to put it all together, and if it looks like it needs changing, I'll change it before I silicone the edges. Just one wall painted. That's got one coat of paint on it, but it needs more. And then I'm thinking about painting the door. It looks a bit grubby and not quite right. I'll come up with something. Bye! So, a fresh new morning. Well, several mornings later. I've managed to get everything painted. I let that dry. This has took a couple of weeks because it needed several coats. I also decided to take the electric sockets off at this time because I wanted something a bit more modern. But then realised that they've not done a great job at cutting out on the tiles, which caused some headaches, but was able to go around them. I'm moving back to my in-video voice at this part. Yeah, that's the colour. They're all done. They're all drying. That one's ready for painting, and that one's done. That one's done. And all them need repairing. So I sanded all these down with an electric sander to get rid of any of the raised bits. and then I used a wood filler to make the top of the surface smooth so that I was able to paint straight over it. Yeah. So that's where I was up to at that point. I'd sanded everything down, I'd filled it all in, I'd painted all the cupboards front and back, and made sure that everything was coated really well, and then put the lacquer over the top. What I did after that was basically put it all together. I put the cupboard doors back on, the tiles was painted, the electric sockets were changed. That was a learning curve. I might actually make a video in the future showing the basics of what I learned, because it was quite scary for me, but over time I learned how to rewire a plug. It might seem simple for some people, but for those who have not done it, it is quite a daunting experience. All the cupboard doors was back on, the tiles had been painted, and I was at the point of, what do I do with this worktop? So I found some vinyl covering, but it's basically like a wrap, so you put this wrap over, it's like sticky back plastic, but it's heat proof. You know, you can't put a boiling pan on there like you wouldn't do on a normal worktop, and you wouldn't use knives on there like you wouldn't do on a normal worktop. You know, you use your cutting boards, you use your trivets, you don't put anything hot or anything that would cut it. So as long as you followed those rules, this was heat proof, you could put cups of tea on it, things like that, and it didn't leave a mark or melt it or anything like that. I used it right next to an electric cooker for several months before we had to move out of the house, and nothing changed over time, you know, with the heat nearby. It was a really good idea, a good move. I'm glad I didn't go into polishing it. It was a bit tricky, but it was just about taking your time, and as you'll see from the next part of the footage, it's a really dramatic effect, and it really pulls in the whole kitchen to make it look brilliant. I don't like saying things good about what I've done, but I was so pleased with how this turned out, and that's why I wanted to share it. So after doing the worktop and the vinyl on the sides of the cupboards, the cupboard panels, end panels, etc., it really pulled it all together. So the next part of the video is basically the kitchen complete. I hope you love it just as much as me. Towards the end of this next section, the screen goes vertical again, because like I said, the filming wasn't brilliant, but it goes vertical again, and there I post all the products that I was using throughout the process. I hope this inspires some people to make that start and do something creative. It doesn't have to be a project as big as this, but if you do it in bite-sized chunks, so you know, start on the doors 1 week, say that's what I'm doing that week, then move on to painting the walls another week, just split it up, and then that way if you are extremely busy the following week, at least you've got a functional kitchen whilst you're doing it, or a functional room, or whatever it is that you're doing. But give it a try, you really will be pleased with the effects if you make the start. If you don't make the start, you're not going to move on. Okay, let's have a look at the comparison for after. Here it is, my first little baby project. Well, quite a big project, but I'm hoping you agree with me. There is some massive improvement. I was so pleased with it. I actually wanted to be in there more often. It's amazing how much a bit of an update can make you want to spend more time in that room. This was done on a budget, but still looks quite high-end in my opinion. So I'm going to go over some of the products that I actually used during this makeover. First off was the Amorite metal paint. I used this on all the handles. Then was the Autosol, which I used to polish the stainless steel sink. Then this is the worktop vinyl that I used. The tea towels that I bought to match the teal paint. The light switches and this cool little light switch backing that has a little clip on it so you can put little notes to your loved ones or any reminders. towel holders that I bought on Amazon. All the plugs and sockets and the backing plates we bought at Screwfix. This was a cool little addition. It's a backing plate you put at the back of your plug and you're able to rest your phone or device on top of it whilst you're doing cooking. Again, this is the checker plate DC Fix crisscross checkerboard silver effect self-adhesive film, and that works very similar to the one on the worktop. It is a bit harder to apply, but it's good on flat surfaces. These trivets that I bought, which fold away really nicely in your drawer. And then I bought this little cutlery holder, which had like a slidey thing on the top so you could store more things in it. I did eventually put some rubber feet on the bottom of that, which stopped it from sliding about in the bottom of the drawer. All the drawers are reorganised. So in the second drawer I've got towels and things like baking paper, tin foils, cling film, stuff like that. And then in the bottom drawer I bought two little storage containers, I think either Home and Bargain or B&M. And in them I've just got like this sewing kit and batteries, just so there's some organisation there. Little handy hook on the door for the oven glove, and all the cupboards have been sorted into new sections. The back of this door I put these little lid holders for the pans, and I purchased some pan protectors that basically go in between each pan so they don't scratch to each other. IKEA drawer divider, and then the last two drawers is basically storage for stationery, and the bottom one is just that drawer, that one that everybody has. You store the rest of everything in there. These I bought from IKEA, and I was going to fit them under the sink. They basically attach to the side of the cupboard, and then the box slides in and out so you can pull like you're washing up liquids, detergents, etc. out so you can see them all rather than rooting to the back of the cupboard. I never actually got around to fitting those, and I still want to get those fitted in the new house. Then some baskets that I bought from one of the homeware stores. You can find these type anywhere, just to put a bit of organisation for the cleaning products that I have in the house. That was the clock that decided the original colour. I like the clock, I like the colour, and decided to go with that colour for the rest of the kitchen scheme. The light fitting, which I fitted myself, is from IKEA. It was quite cheap, budget friendly, but on point in design at the moment, like it was when I did the kitchen. These are all the paint products that I used on the cupboard doors, the walls, the plinths, the tiles, etc. That's the grey vinyl that I put on the end of the cupboards. And there it is. So yeah, what's your overall thoughts and views? I'm hoping you do share the same opinion as me, but I'm open to some criticism. But for now I'm just going to leave you with these comparisons, just so you can cast your mind back and see the before and after pictures. Thanks for watching everybody, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video.